Hello and welcome to episode 5, count 'em 5, the fifth, the big fifth episode here at NEWrestle, the NEWrestle podcast. Want to just say a big old thank you again to our sponsor in Ensure, Nebraska, Joe Schluckabeer, the big man down in Milford. We want to just say thanks to you. You make it possible for us to do this, and just we appreciate you dearly. So we're looking forward to another great week of
nice.
just totally endearing person down there, golly, totally looking forward to week 3. Obviously we want to recap week 2 here on the episode, highlighted mostly by the Council Bluffs Classic that Drew was in attendance for. So we're just going to jump right into it. Drew, how was the Council Bluffs Classic?
Dude, it was great. A phenomenal showcase of talent. 6 states represented. Nebraska kind of showed out big time, especially on the boys' side. But the girls did great too. I'm going to kind of dive into the boys first, and then we'll jump over to the girls' side of things. The boys, Kearney High, I mean, they were up there already to begin the year, Cody, right?
Yeah.
They kind of showed up, and they beat Grand Island, who got second. Columbus was in there. Bennington was in there. Millard South was in there. Just a really impressive performance. They won by 80-some points. 482.5 team points. That's a lot. So credit to Kearney High for coming out and really putting the state on notice. They had some guys that definitely pulled rankings upsets throughout the event, and they're positioning themselves pretty well to be one of the top contenders, if not the top contender right now to Creighton Prep when Prep's at full strength. On the boys' side, there were 8 out of 14 weights were won by Nebraska boys. That has to be a record, I think. I will say that a few of the Power Iowa programs, a couple of them left. But we have Carter Booz that won 113. He survived a tough battle from Holden Townsley, the freshman. Cody, I know you're really high on Townsley. Dominic Olson won 126, and Olson had a phenomenal win in the finals over Weston Porter, who's a highly ranked wrestler from Lewis Central, Iowa, in their big class. Porter actually had a win over Zion Ornelas in one of the international styles in the spring. And Olson was down 9-2 and won that match 24-12. I mean, that's insane. And Olson had to beat number 1 Brody Jensen in the semifinals to even get there. So, and then we'll probably talk about this later, but Olson will have another big one against number 2 Cole Carlin this weekend. Creighton Lassen from Millard West. Dude's been on a tear since the preseason nationals. He won the whole thing in Iowa. And I think we got him now at number 1 in Class A.
Yep,
so
he's number 1.
Kind of well earned so far. He's seen the competition, and maybe the most impressive performance that I personally saw at the CB Classic, boys and girls, was from Kieran Mink. I don't know how many ranked wrestlers were in that weight class. I don't know if one of you guys can pull it up, but it was a lot. And I don't think that he went 7-0 with 7 pins. And we're talking number 1 ranked guys and state medalists, and, pretty much at probably 4 out of the 5 or 4 or 5 of the top 6 in Class A, something crazy. So really credit to him. I think he won the OW of the event.
He was the outstanding wrestler.
A lot of these guys probably could have been, just for navigating these brackets, almost 40 teams. But another person, Colton Kelly, he had 3 or 4 matches that were just absolute brawls, overtime, decisions, beat a number 1 or 2 ranked guy in Iowa to win it. Mason Peterson at 157 beat Brady Danzy in the finals, and that was 1 versus 2 at that weight. And Mason just kind of controlled it. I think his closest match for the whole event was 8 points. Ryder Cruz from Lincoln East won 165. And then the big man, Preston Wagner, what else can you say about the guy? His closest match, I think, was 7 points. I know the number one kid in South Dakota was there. Plenty of other big names in that weight class. So I think we've appeased the masses, and we have Preston Wagner ranked number one now, Class A 285. But he'll have some of those guys later this season who have beaten him in the past. So guess we'll wait and see how those go. On the girls' side, very, very difficult event for the girls. Number one team in Kansas, Gardner Edgerton, they were really impressive. And then the number one team, Iowa Big School, Raccoon River, they were second. And then Millard South, the girls, they've been on a roll. They beat Norfolk early in the week, who was our number one team prior to that for duels. And I guess, Millard South should probably be considered for that now. Number one ranked tournament team, Westside, finished fifth. Then we had a couple champs. Carson McBride from Kearney continues her winning ways, state champ. Sophia Hagemeyer from Millard West. Sophia was losing, I think the score was 13-2 in the semifinals, and she, came back and pinned the girl. So it was really exciting. And then she beat familiar rival and Millie Jensen from Millard South in the finals. And her and Millie Jensen have wrestled at least 5 times, I think, the past 2 seasons. And no reason to think that one won't happen again a couple more times. Last champ from Nebraska for the girls was Fabi Cortez out of Grand Island. And the Grand Island girls keep wrestling well, too. Fabi Cortez looked great. She was runner-up at 170 last year, and she's at 155 this year. Great job by her. And I really thought it was cool at the event how they honored Antrell Taylor before the finals. He got a $1,500 scholarship from the CB Classic and Wrestlers and Business Network. And, they did a good job of honoring Antrell. And I thought it was cool of Antrell to spend time out of his day mid-season coming over there and accepting that hometown hero award. So kind of continuing on with the girls, and then I'll let you guys talk. We went over Battle of the Point a little bit in our girls preview. Phenomenal tournament, 20 teams, some of the best of A and B. Class A Norfolk, we've talked about Norfolk a lot. They're the defending champs. They brought a ton of girls up to Battle at the Point, and they won it by 65-ish points, I think, over Battle Creek, Class B Battle Creek, who's ranked. Lakeview was third, they're ranked. UTAN was fourth, they're ranked. And then the Bellevue East girls in Class A were fifth, and they're a great team as well. Some good performances in that one by some the younger guns. We saw a lot of tightly contested matches, and that's just one of the better tournaments there is. I thought it was kind of funny. I got a few pictures sent over to us, and one of them was of UTAN's Jordan Campbell with a camera in her hand, and I told a few people, I was like, maybe we need to hire her when she's done wrestling, get her photography going for us.
Can't ever have enough pictures.
Never. So I think Norfolk, the girls are kind of getting their lineup closer into place. They were missing a few for that duel against Millard South that they dropped. So I'm sure they're probably kind of eager to present their full lineup in dual format at the Fracas for girls this week, which is going to be a great tournament. But that's kind of my little quick rundown to kick things off for us here.
Right on. So we basically, hammered out a lot of Class A there at the CB Classic. I mean, obviously there's some other stuff going on. Cody, you kind of mentioned, prior to the show, was it the Bellevue West?
Bellevue
East tournament. So what do you got there for us?
It was a good event. Had Elkhorn South, Elkhorn South, North Platte, Norfolk, Omaha North, Bellevue East. Elkhorn South won it by 14 points over North Platte. The 144 bracket was pretty fun. You had Scott was there too, but Scott obviously was missing some of their bigger hammers were at Iron Man. But 144, Jermaine Dortch, Drew Gallion, Colin Kritzer, and Kirk Wilson were all there, and they're all ranked top 3-4 ranked guys in classes A and B, or class A, excuse me. And it was Dortch won it. It was a lot of fun, but Dortch got tossed to his back there for a minute by Wilson, but was able to fight it off, and that would have been a pretty crazy event.
Those
And
North
then,
Platte boys are dangerous. They're always dangerous, dude.
yeah, and then Drew Gallion beat Kirk Wilson 3-2, which was really good win for him. And then he had Dortch 5. It was 5-2 that match there. So Gallion's definitely a name to keep an eye on. Got to see a couple of the freshmen we've been wanting to see. Terrence Crawford Jr. came in. He got runner up. His only loss was to Colton Strange from Scott, who
That was close, right? It was like 9-7.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
9-7. Crazy athletic, and so a couple of the B guys, I got to see Levi Halbert, or not Halbert. Drew, y'all tell me real quick. 13, Levi
Oh, DeVetter.
DeVetter. Yes, I kept wanting to go to Levi Halbert. Levi DeVetter looked really good. Crew Carlson, another Scott freshman, looked really good. A freshman I wasn't aware of, Solomon Starks from Omaha North heavyweight, looked really good, and it's just like, are we ever going to get a loss from an Omaha North heavyweight, or what's going on?
The
I mean,
torch has been passed. A total
Yeah.
unknown almost is coming in. And
yeah.
Yeah.
So
hey, freshman heavyweight, real quick, was that Mason Mostek from Bennington. He
Yeah.
got 6th at the CB Classic. Apparently, he can make 215 because he
Yeah.
just beat a number 1 Haney the other
Yep.
day too.
yeah, last night. So that was a really, really, like, oh crap! I texted you right away when I saw that result.
Yeah, I know.
That was
Yeah,
wild.
Haney was ahead 11-2 or something. But
Yeah,
I mean, that's a
11-2.
huge win for
Moss,
a
yeah.
freshman at that high of a weight. So
And we didn't even know
congrats, Mason.
Mostek was going down.
I didn't. And so I
Yeah.
think they have. So it's Ty Thompson and Mason Mostek. So I think Bennington has.
Yeah, they have some options there.
See how that goes for them,
Mhm.
I guess.
And then all of a sudden, at Fracas, we'll see Bufakeo is going to be up at 215, and all of a sudden, Mostek's at 90. They just all three just move around
Who knows?
like Lincoln East was doing last year.
Yeah.
Another one of the big tournaments I wanted to hit on real quick was the Osceola invite. That heading into the tournament looked like it was going to be absolutely wild. Looks like they missed a couple of guys there. UTN boys took home the team title. But one match I kind of wanted to bring up was Blaine Stutzman from Howells Dodge beating Eli Colt. And that is
Mhm.
Eli Colt's second loss of the year. So that one definitely caught my eye. And then in the other 1-versus-2 matchup at 150 pounds, you saw number 1 Drake Troxel beat number 2 Cooper Earhart 19-5.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, that's a big gap there.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you mention Eli Colt because it's his second loss in successive weeks. You know, ultimately having lost to Guzman the week before 4-2 as well out of Palmer. So
Well, that might mean Guzman has a pretty solid challenger at 132.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
something tells me that Brody Jensen's going to want to go up and test those waters at some point too.
Well,
so,
and it's interesting because, I think Colt may be coming down to 26, but I'm not exactly sure. But I think, it may look like that right now. So I was going to say, Cody, I'm surprised you didn't talk about the Crete invite at 120.
Yeah.
I thought that was, because
Henshaw,
with,
dude.
yeah, like, dude,
Takes
Carson
out
Henshaw
Goebel, takes
freaking-
out Cody Barton. Like, Henshaw.
well, he got he avenged the loss from the week before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah. Dude. Beatrice.
the Beatrice, man, they're like, I don't know if we were going to get to this as a segment later on, but I feel like, Beatrice is kind of like trending.
Yeah.
Man. Those freshman kids, the Omars and Hanshaw are looking
Yeah.
good. And Aubrey Johnson on the girls' side beat Lauren Freoff from Seward. That's
Ooh.
returning state champion in
Yeah.
in the same event on the girls' side. So,
real quick,
I just hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
1 second. Since we're on Beatrice, I just have to say this: like something about Jordan Johnson and the program that he runs. Like you're gonna constantly get tough kids out of Beatrice. Like if you're a kid that's on the fence on whether or not you're gonna wrestle in Beatrice, you probably better wrestle because you're gonna be a better person coming out of that gosh darn program.
Yeah.
Like that's all I gotta say. Like he's one of the dudes that just is, he's not gonna BS you. I mean, a lot of guys won't BS you, but I mean, it is just cut and dry what you're gonna get out of that program, and it's just a bunch of toughness and a bunch of discipline, and you're gonna be way better for it if you do.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that, plus you have with the Southeast program and Terry Pack down there. There's a lot of options down there to really, if you want to get better. The other one, Drew, you kind of hit on this with Beatrice's trajectory. Northwest wins their second straight tournament.
Yeah, they beat Scotts Bluff to win Holdridge. I haven't dove into that one too much necessarily, but Scotts Bluff has a good team. So then obviously Noah Boyer, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Over John White in the finals, and that's a rematch of the state semis last year that White won. So there were some good matches over there. Overall, really good tournaments this weekend.
Yeah,
the Hochstein boys were the Cedar Catholic team. They went to Crete too, so we got a little, and I think that's a new one for them.
Yes, it is.
Kind of fine tuning, their guys and Maverick Hine and good to see. You want to see those 3 number 1 ranked guys in Class C making the trip to Crete and kind of taking on some different competition because they see a lot of Northeast Nebraska.
Yeah.
I guess it's just good to kind of see. I was sort of impressed with Corey Langenberg of Milford, who got 3rd in that event. He gave Brady Hochstein a run at 165 in the semis. But some really good events. Got to shout out the Peru State invite a little bit too. That's a brand new one.
I was just gonna say I was having lunch with Colin today talking about this Peru State invite. We ran into a Broken Bow coach there over in Ord, and they were wondering, like what's the deal with Peru State? And I believe in the Garfields or Jay Sushinar are going to have to probably clarify this or somebody. But as far as I understand, the like requirement to be in the Peru State invite was to have some sort of like assistant coach be from Peru or somebody on your staff be from Peru, at least the first
somebody
year.
on your staff or administration has to be a Peru graduate.
Yes.
Do you call them Peruvians at that point?
The Peruvians.
But, I mean, it was cool that they were able to do it in the Peru gym. I know there's a huge push for Peru State to add wrestling.
Well, and here's the other thing, if you're a Peru grad, like I don't know if I've ever met a Peru grad that's not just super proud of Peru State,
Yes.
So like, good for them though to get it kind of exposed down there and hopefully get a tournament that may end up turning into a good one down the road. And when it's in its infancy, it's always a little suspect at first, but good on them to get that started.
What did you see, Cale, then for class? We've kind of touched on most of them, right? Most classes. Yeah. If you want to, again, I need to say this. If you want to get the detail, the full recap and stuff, and obviously our rankings are on there, our recaps are on there, our previews are on there. Jump on, subscribe to our Rockfin. It's $15 a month. It's worth it. It helps us do stuff like this too. What did you see, Cale, for Class C? I think before we.
Well, I went to Wood River on Friday night for the weekend, and just kind of to see. Obviously, Coach Waddington retired. You guys probably, if you're listening to this, you probably saw us post on our Facebook page the retirement thing for him. And so, like, I went down there being a part of the staff for 6 years with him. So something close to me. But then obviously I got to see a ton of good wrestling, and St. Paul was there. Donovan was there. Aquinas wrestled their first tournament of the weekend at Wood River. But Donovan was really the storyline, like, far and away. It felt like they were winning every single big match. They're young kids, were coming through when they needed them. And really, like, Easton Widener, he's all he's cracked up to be. Like, he had a dominant win over Tristan Davis in the finals at 113. I think another one that we need to keep an eye on is probably at 120, Cameron Sipp. He was unranked at the time, and he drew Jace Martin's side of the bracket, so he had him in the semi and wrestled him close. It was 7-4, and personally, Sipp dictated the match pace pretty much the entire way. So, like, I kind of like what he does offensively and his aggressiveness. But it was on the other side where Lucas Terrien from Gothenburg beat Rylan Rasmussen in the semi 11-9. And then Sipp ultimately wrestled Rasmussen, who's ranked number 2, and majored him 16-2. So
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because there's speculation that Jace Martin will go to 13.
Correct.
Okay. So if you're Jace Martin, do you want to wrestle Cameron Sipp again, or do you want to wrestle Easton Widener?
That's a good question. And Jace Martin at 13 will be astronomically huge. And he's a really good counter wrestler. So, like, he's not going to push the pace on you too much, like, offensively, but he's very dangerous in his counter game. And so, I don't know. Personally, like, you kind of think you want the size, but also at 120, Rasmussen who was ranked number 2, I don't know. Maybe he stays up now. I don't know. So, otherwise, like, some other notable things, it's just kind of off the top of my head, like seeing Grady Welke for the first time wrestling, going up from 175 a year ago to 215. Obviously, like, we kind of checked on his weigh-ins and he looks like he's descending. I didn't get that information, like, officially, but I think he weighed like 195 or 196 or something close to 90. But he kind of took some lumps, getting beat by Klingelhofer out of Amherst in that semifinal. That was not very close of a match, and then kind of struggled with the Gibbon kid coming out in for third place because Jose Ramirez Aguilar had a 9-0 lead on Welke, I think, or 9-2 or something like that before Welke came back and tied it up and then ultimately pinned him. So, and then Colt Meyer out of Ord, he won that bracket. So that was another strong one there at Wood River. But yeah, great tournament for a Friday. It was nice to honor Coach Waddington. And, they're going to actually be up here at Logan View here on Saturday or Friday too, because they had a triangular as well. So we'll get to see him again this weekend. So anything?
Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to go up to the Battle Creek versus Central Cedar Catholic duel?
I did not get to go there.
I know that you had talked about possibly.
I know. It was one of those things, like, it would have been 4 days of travel because I was supposed to go to a wedding on Saturday. And so, like, in Hayes, Kansas, which ultimately the roads on Saturday in Kearney were nasty. So or in central Nebraska, got pretty icy. So we turned around and went back. But yeah, that's why I didn't go up there. But I definitely watched the results, And speaking of Battle
Creek, pretty good duel.
Yeah. Speaking of them, though, they went to the Raymond Central duels, and you're going to see some results on there where they had, it looks like 2 of the Battle Creek kids got hurt. And I know that neither one of those one of them was a miss, entered result. It shouldn't have been an injury. It was kind of a weird ordeal, I guess, and a scramble of some sort with the leg being twisted. And nope, he's good. That was Tyan Thompson. He's going to wrestle this week. And then Casey Schneebel at 175, like, he tweaked an ankle, but he should be back within, it might not be this weekend, but he'll be back within a week or two. So anyway, yeah.
And I assume I didn't even see the results for that. Battle Creek won that, right? They had to have.
Yeah, they won that.
Okay.
I think the highlight of that tournament was kind of the weird deal because, like, Hunter Cruz pinned Cole Cansteiner, I want to say, but Cansteiner pinned, oh my gosh, I got to think, because Sebastian Lautenschlager's in this mix. There was some weird results because there was some bumping too. I'd have to pull it up because I don't have it off the top of my head, but
Cruz did pin Cansteiner.
Yeah.
Did Cansteiner maybe beat the Raymond Central kid? Jelinek?
Yeah, and it's Jelinek. We got to make sure it's a Y. We were corrected the last
and
time.
then then
him on
Jelinek
here.
beat. So it was like a triangle. So we got a classic
kinda,
triangle.
Yeah.
So and I made a circle motion with my fingers to do a triangle there.
Right. Yeah.
It's a circle, not a
But
square.
it was nice. It was nice to
not a
see though that
triangle.
Cole Cansteiner did ultimately drop to 65 like we thought he would, so he doesn't have to worry about trying to wrestle his big brother again, you know. So anyway,
so what are we looking at? Are we ready to move to the weekend?
I think so.
Cody, you got anything else?
Oh, not off the top. A couple shout outs to some kids out west that went into Wyoming and won a couple individual titles. Kason Bolches from Sydney won the 215-pound title, and Diego Juarez from Ogallala won the 113-pound title. They were both out at the Charlie Lake Invite in Wyoming. So just want to make sure.
Good for them. That Reese Knight went up to South Dakota and won a huge bracket to win that one. Beat their number 2 and 3 guys in big school South Dakota.
Yeah, that Rapid City Invite is insane, dude. There's a lot of talent there from North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, Nebraska. That's a really good tournament.
We need to do like a panhandle report each week and just flash it up on the screen. Panhandle, and then we just go into all the guys and just talk about some of the guys out west that do a really good job.
Yeah, so it was a really, really good weekend, I think, across the board, from Council Bluffs to Wyoming. So heading into this weekend, you want to get us going, Kale?
Well, Thursday is going to be a couple good triangulars tomorrow night. Well, tomorrow night. Well, today, if you're going to be listening, I always get that mixed up. Like if this is the night before.
Yeah, what's right to say? I don't know.
Good Lord. So I guess today, if it's Thursday, Bennington, York, and Lincoln Southeast have a triangular that we have highlighted here. That'll be a nice one. Cody, you want to give some thoughts, or Drew, you want to give some thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm excited to see that duel. My mind just goes to a couple years ago when they didn't wrestle and York made the state duels and Bennington didn't. We won't get too into that, but I'm sure Bennington. I mean, I think they dueled last year too. It'll be a good
met up at state duels.
Yeah, they're high quality teams. Both top 5, probably top 3 dual teams in B.
Yeah,
and I mean, there's going to be some good matches, so I guess we'll sort of see how that duel shakes out. I would say Bennington probably has a little bit of an edge. They don't have many like open weights without like a really above average kid.
Yeah, and this might be where we talked about a couple weeks ago, where we might start seeing Bennington mix in some of their freshmen to move guys around in dual formats.
I mean, they're a couple deep at a few weights, so it's very possible.
Yeah, otherwise, like there's, for moving down a class, like Central City, Aquinas, Columbus, SCOTUS. Obviously, I think SCOTUS has a pretty sneaky, decent dual team, especially throughout the middle of their lineup. I think actually a couple on the top side of on the heavier side of their lineup, they're kind of showing that they've got some dudes that can maybe, push some other rosters, I guess. With Campuzano at 215s looking like he might be all right. And the cranky Mike Crinky at 90.
Yeah, he was pretty good last year.
Yeah. So like, they don't got the numbers next to their names, but they're right there in the mix and on the bubble, like of being notable. And I think that if you're wrestling SCOTUS in a duel, you're going to have to be equally strong in the middle to beat them, because they are very good from like 26 to 65 ish, so 75. Obviously Central City, they're kind of, I think they're working. They're still waiting on getting Preston Burbach back. Returning qualifier for them. They were in Class B last year, obviously, and I don't know. I have not checked their track roster yet if he's done a hydration test, but last I knew he had not. So if they have him back this weekend, that'll be huge for him because that would be. I mean, Central City also goes to the Logan View Invite. And then obviously Aquinas is Aquinas. They're going to put out a quality product. So it's a nice triangular amongst all three teams. It'll be interesting. I'm not sure where the location is, but that'd be one that you'd want to, if you're just a casual fan in the area, might want to go check out.
Well, talk about flexibility in the lineup. I mean, we know Aquinas has a little bit of that too. So
Mhm.
that'll probably help them in dual formats compared to tournaments where they will lose the scorer at 106 and all that. So some good duels to look forward to tonight, Thursday, the 18th of December. Cody, I know you're going to Platteview tomorrow, man. What?
I wanted to
looking
hit on
forward to
one
there?
duel real quick that kind of intrigues me for tonight. Gretna East and Plattsmouth
Mm-hmm.
are two teams that probably don't get as much love as they should, but have quietly had some pretty good starts to their seasons. So that's definitely a duel that I'll be keeping my eye on in Class B. I know Gretna East is coming off of a Class B Team of the Week, winning the Bellevue West invite, and Plattsmouth has some hammers, dude. Like, they're gonna be really tough. So that's one duel I wanted to talk about real quick.
That's a top 10 duel
Yeah.
matchup there. Gretna East is 10 and Plattsmouth is 8. So there's
Okay.
implications going on with that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then getting into tomorrow, I'll be at the Platteview invite. You're gonna have number 8 Brian, number 12 Aurora, number 3 Beatrice, 10 Syracuse, 11 Waverly, and number 2 Shelby Rising City. And as we saw at Osceola, that Shelby Rising City did have their full lineup, so we'll get to see a full health SRC. The biggest match that's going to be circled here is at 126. Dom Olson coming off his CB Classic title and taking over the number 1 spot from Cole Carlin. So Carlin might have a little say in what's going to happen there. That's the big, and to me, that's the biggest match I'm looking forward to. 190, you're gonna have D number 1 Elijah Fiel and A number 2 Marcus Wynn and B number 2 Merrick Johnson. So that's always fun because Merrick is a points machine. So definitely, I mean, there's a total of about 40 ranked wrestlers across the board. I mean, when you add in all the freshmen that Beatrice has, and then Brian's loaded. And real quick, special congratulations to Coach Schuschner, who welcomed a daughter. So congratulations to the Schuschner family. So I don't know if he'll be there tomorrow night, but if he's not, I just wanted to make sure we all give him a round of applause and congratulations on the new baby girl.
Yeah, congrats, man. He's one of the good ones. Hey,
Yeah,
I did sort of want to
absolutely.
say, like we were talking about the duels a little bit on Thursday. Does it not feel like this is kind of now where dual season really takes off? You have the Fracas and Pierce and Kearney Catholic and Blair, and there's probably more. We're starting to get into dual season.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Reading through the preview that you have done, Cody, as you do every week, you see so many of these, like you just said, Blair duels, Kearney Catholic duels. Everybody seems to be running duels.
Boone Central.
Boone Central. Boone Central's gonna be good too.
So I did want to hit one thing on Platteview. Man, like Syracuse goes to Platteview, which is a grinder. And then the following day goes to Logan View, which is a grinder. I mean, just potentially but you're going right into break, so you got plenty of time to heal up.
It's going to be a well-earned moratorium for the Rockets.
Yeah. So, what else do we got? What else where were we at?
Well, we got to talk about the fracas for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go for
that
it.
2
Yeah,
days.
let's do that. Let's do
So it's kind of, I mean, some of the teams from CB Classic, right? You have
that. Mhm.
Columbus, Grand Island, Kearney, Lincoln East. That's kind of a who's who of the top dual teams in Class A, outside of maybe Millard South and Prep. You have Bennington from Class B. Papillion La Vista is really good. You kind of have a random smattering here, like Donovan Trumbull, Kale, your team of destiny in Class C. They're going to be there. Seward is there. They have some good kids. What we were talking about this earlier. Chrisman, Arizona.
Chrisman, Arizona.
You got teams from Wyoming and Kansas and Colorado too. So
That
should be
Manhattan
sweet.
team is always extremely tough.
Are they number one in Kansas this year?
Yes.
They're up there. They always
They're
are.
number
But I think
one
they
in
might
Kansas
be
big school.
in the big school. Yeah. So I mean, should be good. We'll see if our Nebraska crew can outlast the other states. I don't know that we can find the rankings and stuff for Arizona. I've sort of been trying, but we'll do a little scouting on this Chrismon team. It's not Crimson, it's Chrismon. We were talking about that before.
We botched it. We botched it in the text message earlier. It must have been auto correcting to Crimson.
Yeah. So, do you guys, Cody especially, do you have any wish list matches for the Fracas? You know you're not going to get them all.
Yeah.
There's tons of ranked kids. Is there any that you absolutely need to see to paint a clear picture for you, even though we may have seen some at the CB Classic?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're going to get a clear picture, but it's a lot of the same of last year. A165. Cruz got harder last week. Does Harder get him this week? It's them two have gone back and forth for 4 years now. Jarecki's in there, who's beat Harder this year. This Pedro de Almeida from Lincoln Southeast, watch out for this dude. He has been really impressive to start the year. And then 215 with Boley, Colton Tucker, John Florell, Ty Thompson, or Mason Mostek for Bennington, and Paco Cuevas from Norfolk. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then just what kind of moving around do we see as far as, do we get a Rudy Rodriguez, Caden Kowalik?
Some of those teams will do it too, and we
Yes.
already talked about Bennington doing it.
Yeah,
These
Grand Island's got a lot of flexibility.
I was just gonna say they got a couple 106s they could put out there for
They
sure.
have-
So
their JV 106 is the fall brawl champion. Like,
I mean,
they
that's
have-
crazy. That's crazy.
yes.
Yeah.
And so definitely excited to see that. And just that's what I'm most intrigued by is, guys, do we see some movement? I mean, what's the most you can go up 2 weight classes, right? Do we see
No,
Mason
if you
No.
weigh in at 106, you can only go up to 13. You can't go up to.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I mean,
Come on, Cody.
I know that was.
Amateur hour.
I'm guessing Mason Peterson. We'll probably see him fluctuate between 57, 65.
Well,
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to interrupt here real quick. We were talking in our group chat. I just found out this week that if it has a dash, they're consolidated for the sport only in the team. But if it's a slash, they're consolidated for all sports. So you learn something new about you can only go up 1 weight, and I learned that this week.
I think that's the opposite.
Freaking clue.
Yeah,
Whatever. Okay,
it's the
whatever.
opposite of what you said.
All right. Well, I still don't know clearly. But that kind of blew my mind.
The
that
the backslash is the
It's a co-op for wrestling.
yes,
Oh,
for the
yeah.
sport. Yeah.
Anyway, should we move on to the crown jewel of the weekend, where you could only
Well,
watch in one
hold
spot?
on. Hold
Okay.
on.
All right.
Before I just okay. I'm trying to earn a Donovan Trumbull shirt here, really bad.
Oh my gosh, here we go again. Oh my gosh, Donovan Trumbull.
I just want to. I feel like we've given them a ton of airtime.
Every episode, that's all you
it's
talk
weird.
about.
So I am
I'm kidding.
interested
I'm
in seeing. I am interested in seeing some of the individual matchups with them, how they stack up with. Obviously, I mean, they're probably not going to win a lot of those duels, but just seeing their ranked kids and some of their
I get
top
it.
end kids.
I get it, man.
So-
There's going to be some. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And you know what that helps too. what I really want to do this year, what we are going to do is we're going to do all class rankings, and they're going to be awesome. And we're going to do like the top 15 or 20. It's going to be insane.
Should do a live show. Should do a live show where we all just freaking argue with each other trying to figure this out.
Like Cody jostling for Class A, and then
Yeah.
every Class C number one for Kale is supposed to be number one.
Class C takes 1 through 5 at least for every all class.
For everyone, okay, yeah.
Kale,
but we-
the
you know what,
SEC
we
of
should do-
Nebraska wrestling.
Let's do that. We'll do a spreadsheet with all of our rankers, and we'll cook and we'll see what we can come up with. And by the end of the year, we could maybe do one. That'll be a Christmas break project. We'll do like one wave early, and then we'll revisit it again at the end of February. That'll be something for after the season.
Yep.
Lovely. Okay. Now can I do my thing for Logan View?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now to the crown jewel of the weekend, where you can only watch on one spot. rockfin.com/NEWrestle, the 2025 Dan Mowinkle Logan View invite, streamed live on NEWrestle.
Is Donovan Trumbull there?
Unfortunately, Donovan's not there.
No, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ranked teams.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 6 of those being in Class C, and then Syracuse, who's up from Class C into B this year. You know, man, like I just have to say, like I was debating on whether or not I was going to mention this, but like having a hand in developing what the Logan View invite is today, obviously, like COVID really helped out that year, not COVID. I'm sorry. That winter storm that canceled the Valentine invite the one year, like 4 years ago, where we were able to bring in Broken Bow, David City, and we had some others knocking on the door trying to get into a competition that weekend. And that's really what helped us solidify Broken Bow into the Logan View invite permanently. I had to knock on Ed Shafe's, call him many times just to try to get him to swing back to stay east instead of going back to Valentine. And then once you get somebody like that, you entice more teams to want to come in. And then so we pulled in Central City, and then Lexington called and they wanted in, you know, and so then it turned into what it is today. And like kind of like low key, low bragging, you know, a little bit on helping develop this into what it is. But I love this tournament, like, and I'm glad that it's been streamlined the way it is. Gosh, there's gonna be so many good matches. And like in the old dome, the old iconic dome that they have there at Logan View, it's just like it's packed. Like if you want to watch, if you want to be there in person, you have to make sure that you get there early. Otherwise, it's going to be like standing room only type stuff, you know, like on the edges. So, but you know, Battle Creek, Central City, you know, like I expect them and probably Syracuse to be the front runners team wise, and then not far behind SCOTUS, you know, like I'm not sure SCOTUS is quite deep enough to, well, they might with the strength of how the brackets are, but you know, like Battle Creek's obviously the favorite here. But otherwise, like you have C number 1, C number 2 at 106, you know, like that's going to be awesome with Kale Stussy, Ace Schweitzer, Philip Streff and Brock Goebel at 120. You know, I mean, and Ryan Haney. I mean, if you look at the list on our preview, there is so many ranked kids. So many. Anybody jump off the page to you first before I continue on any of this?
No, I'm just excited to see, you know, some good wrestling. I think there's some questions like, you know, like will some guys be down to weight like Colt and maybe some of the Battle Creek kids, and you know, Cash Watson hasn't been in the lineup for Broken Bow for a little bit. Ashton Kuhar from Battle Creek has had some nice wins recently. You know, 138 is going to be good. That Tristan Cisco from Syracuse had a nice weekend.
Well, he just beat Heine from Cedar Catholic.
And I think he beat Quinn Zegers from Milford too. And so all those guys are in that weight.
Yep.
I'm curious if Alan Diaz from Lexington, I think he'll probably still be at 157. And then I think we probably a little bit, maybe like a revenge match type thing. Brody Brandt from Syracuse has beaten number 1 in C, Tregan Fitzke, the first time they wrestled by a fair amount. And Fitzke kind of poured it on and came back and won that match. So maybe
so the way that goes,
good one.
Yeah. So the way that like Fitzky and Brant wrestled at the conference invite, I guess that would be an invite conference tournament.
Conestoga, you mean, right?
Well, this is a year.
Are you going back to last year? Okay.
Yeah. So a year ago, and Brant put it on him pretty good. And then at the state meet, they met in the blood round to get in for a medal on Friday night. And Fitzky really he was just peaking at that time, dominant win. And then fast forward to Conestoga a year later, Brant was ahead in that match 11-2 before Fitzky got on top, got some near fall, then cradled him up again, and then ultimately got the pin. So apparently that first period was wild. I've talked to a couple people and got their perspective on that, and it was just kind of one of those wild things out of the gate. You could tell some of the people in the crowd were saying Brant was stoked to be able to have this match because of what last year's state tournament brought and all that kind of stuff, and so it'll be fun. So
went in deep on that one.
Yeah.
Well, you got the history, dude. You're his coach.
I can't do that with everyone.
So a couple.
How were you able to get NEWrestle to come out and stream?
Well, just because I know you guys. You gotta have connections, man.
So let's wrap up the boys. Creighton Prep and Millard South are both going to KC Classic in Missouri. That should be probably a good event, judging by Prep's schedule. Creighton Prep has been without half their lineup the whole year. I hope they are able to get some guys healthy soon. They went and wrestled in some solid dual tournament in Iowa, but again, I think they went 2-2.
Yeah, Red Owens at Southeast.
Against some really good teams. But I would have loved to have seen what they'd have been able to do with their full lineup. I think they'd have been competitive in it at the very least for winning the whole thing. And then Omaha Scott is going to kind of continue their really tough tournament schedule. And I think the majority of those guys are going out to Reno. It's not so much a split thing this week. I could be wrong, but they're going
when I talked to DeVetter, it sounded like the whole team's going out. So.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then I don't know that we'll have a chance. I know Cody. I know you're going to be at the Tom Deneen next week.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to
real quick. Anything you want to go into?
Yeah. So I don't know if we'll be recording before then, but on Tuesday you have the Tom Deneen invite. A lot of there should be, help me for my sake, a lot of separation in Class A because Creighton Prep and Fremont, North Platte, Papillion La Vista, Omaha North. Then you got Pepio South ranked. Elkhorn North is going to be there. And definitely, my favorite weight's going to be 144 with Jermaine Dortch, Kirk Wilson, Cameron Green, James Ferguson, who has just been on a tear to start the year for Elkhorn North. 26, Rosenthal and Hanneborg, and possibly Zion. I don't know what the timetable is for his comeback. And then at heavyweight,
I think it's later on.
Okay. And then at heavyweight, 1 versus 2 with Roberto Macias Sidzik and Preston Wagner.
Cool.
So that's going to be,
and we'll have a full preview of that one.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
We probably need to
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say we probably need to. I mean, you're kind of talking. Were we going to mention the old next Tuesday?
Yes, we got to talk about this. We have
to talk about this next Tuesday. So go for it. I'll let you have
it. Started after COVID, they started the OPS duels where all the OPS teams duel each other.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Well, the problem with that is the date this year fell on the Tom Deneen invite, and Omaha North has been a long time competitor at the Tom Deneen invite. Well, that left OPS duels with only 7 teams. So lo and behold, due to some relationships and friendships, we have a new member of the OPS duels, the Fairbury Jeffs. are competing at the OPS duels
That's
next
such a
Tuesday.
funny and cool random thing to have happen. It's just
Yeah. I actually talked to him on the phone today, Garfield, and he was talking about how he's going to the OPS duels. He had a little chuckle when he mentioned it too. And I mean, just a random Jefferson County in the Omaha Public Schools duels.
And there's, Brian's probably the favorite to win that, but they're going to get some dual points up there.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So, yeah. Well, geez, we might be under an hour.
No, I'm gonna go into some of the girls' stuff to look
Oh, yeah,
at.
that's right. I'm sorry.
Yep. Obviously, the Flatwater Fracas for the girls is going to be a stellar event. I think we're talking maybe 6 of the top 10 and potentially 7 of the top 12 if we were to go out further. We have them ranked further out on our ranking sheet. So potentially, obviously, going to be some fireworks there. Hopefully, we're going to see some good matches. There are some teams that are heading to. I said KC Classic earlier for the boys. It's KC Stampede. You had it wrong, Cody. I'm blaming you. But there's a girls' KC Stampede too, and Lincoln East is going there. Millard South is going there. North Platte girls, I think, are going there, and West Side. So. For good, solid Class A girls schools, and I think that I have it pulled up here. There's 68 teams, several different states that are going to be at that event. So probably one of the more difficult girls tournament. That Gardner Edgerton team is there again, and that's who won the Council Bluffs Classic. Cambridge has. Adams Central and West Holt from Class B. West Holt's won a couple tournaments recently. And then Adams Central is obviously our top ranked team for the girls side of things. So I wanted to make sure to get those in there. As always, the process of going through the girls tournaments is much more arduous due to not having the NSAA schedules. And we will still have previews for, pretty much every tournament, I think, to come on our premium Rockfin page. But yeah, I think we are going to get done under an hour.
Weeping Water duels Monday should be pretty good.
The Weeping Water has a bigger tournament in January. That's their big one.
Yeah.
If you're looking ahead to that one, that one's usually really good.
So I have a quick question, just because we've mentioned it twice now about like how finding the girls stuff and going through it is a little bit tougher and all that stuff. We've mentioned that they don't have schedules on NSAA. Mm-hmm. Have there ever been an inkling or a timetable from Ron talking about when they may? Has anybody ever?
I bet they're getting close. They're like some of these tournaments you're starting to see every year. Like even on Friday there was the Wahoo girls invite, and that's going to be really good. Battle Creek's there, mm-hmm. Utan's there, Lakeview's there. I think Battle Creek doubles up and they do like a Pierce girls duels this weekend too. So there's a couple days worth of wrestling. South Sioux City girls are there. York girls. So that Wahoo's another good one. Glad I stumbled on that one. But they have to be close, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, it just feels like
there's
it's
bills in there. Less is
does that have to be proposed?
Yes.
So like they just don't do it because it hasn't been proposed to have official schedules yet.
No, it has to do with what Drew was just talking about with the duels and getting like a dual state tournament.
Oh, so they won't do a schedule until they have a dual schedule. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. And that makes sense. Which it sounds like that's going to be imminent.
Yes.
So cool. All right. That'll make our lives easier for especially Sean's.
Yeah.
To kind of do a more quick preview job of some of these events. And we never intentionally leave any of this stuff out either.
No.
I'm excited to see a lot of these matchups unfold. It's just, Platteview turns around after Friday. They have their girls invite on Saturday. That's usually traditionally been a good one too. But until we go through and comb through all the ranked wrestlers, it's hard to really get there with the big matchups just yet. What else, boys?
Quick
Nothing,
hitters,
dude.
Kale.
You don't have any, do you? Not this week.
Nope.
Oh,
That's
Okay,
too
so
bad because
excited.
the two times that Cody's been on here, I haven't had him ready.
There's one thing that was brought up last week that I brought it up a little bit with Kale before you hopped on, Drew. We were talking how you guys were talking about kind of like the past and like quick, give me best wrestler, give me all that. Like it made me think of like what's the most memorable like singlet from the past that you remember seeing in finals and all that. And the reason I bring that up is because I just always remember Windside and how tough they were and always seeing those
We
Windside
talked about that.
singlets.
We talked about that in the first episode. I think I said the Valentine all whites, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah. God, I want to.
Yeah, because you know what I mentioned? You know what I mentioned? I mentioned Culbertson, Nick Rooney.
Who's your guys' favorite current singlets? Did we talk about that?
Dude,
Like right now.
Beatrice's new ones are sweet. They broke them out this year.
Nice. I don't know. I don't know either. I like the I like the Utan girls with the pink.
Yeah,
like,
and
the pink color
black
in there. Yeah.
I don't know if they still use them, but it's like I love Syracuse with the little rocket man on the back.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I like Plattsmouth with the pitchfork with the blue devils.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Yeah.
All right, do your research this weekend, guys. We can reconvene next week and talk about our favorite singlets that we saw from the weekend.
We could probably have a little bit of fun next week heading into moratorium.
Yeah, we won't have a whole lot to probably preview, will we?
No. It's Christmas.
Yeah. Well, is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Okay. Well, hey, once again, guys, thanks for joining us, obviously, for this hodgepodge of a crew at times, on episode 5. And again, another shout out to the big dog at Insure, Nebraska, Joe Schleckabeer, down there. He is the man. And we want to thank you again for making this possible with us. Go check him out. With that, we are going to say adios.